Between 2010 and 2015, southwest Oklahoma experienced the worst drought in recorded history. The drought caused a tremendous stress on local water supplies, causing unprecedented declines in the water stored within two Bureau of Reclamation reservoirs, Lugert-Altus and Tom Steed Reservoir.
Well, as that drought strengthened, what we saw was no water at all coming down. We saw our cities reduced by 40%. I can remember going to a city council meeting and literally looking at the city council and saying, I can't guarantee you that you have water past 14 months.
As the drought intensified, there were concerns whether there would be enough storage in the reservoirs to provide for the water needs of the area. Local officials questioned whether water users upstream of the reservoirs were contributing to the rapid decline in reservoir storage.
We started to ask the question, what's going on? That something is impacting our watershed upstream. We have real concerns about our future and about our ability to continue to irrigate and meet the liabilities that we have today.
Not only is Lugert an irrigation supply, it also fulfills a need as a redundant drinking water source for the city of Altus, Altus Air Force Base, and the surrounding community.
If we continue as we are, if that train stays on the track that it's on now, this facility will no longer have storage dependable enough to meet the beneficial needs that it was designed, built, and has been paid for.
Lugert-Altus Reservoir is owned by the Bureau of Reclamation and is operated and maintained by the Lugert-Altus Irrigation District.
Lake Lugert has the largest watershed of any individual lake in the state of Oklahoma. We irrigate about 50,000 acres. It's primarily devoted to irrigated cotton. When we have adequate storage in the lake, when Mother Nature doesn't throw us a curveball, those 50,000 acres are going to produce somewhere in the neighborhood of 200,000 plus bales of cotton. And that's a good $100 million is what that is, depending upon market.
Tom Steed Reservoir, also owned by the Bureau of Reclamation, is operated and maintained by the Mountain Park Master Conservancy District.
We provide water from the west side of Lawton all the way past Altus, down to some of these small communities that may only be 300 to 500 people, all the way down to the Texas border.
The Bureau of Reclamation resides within the Department of the Interior, overseeing almost 340 dams and reservoirs across the western U.S. Reclamation also provides drinking water to over 30 million people across the West. The Oklahoma Water Resources Board has planning, permitting, and financing authority over water in the state of Oklahoma. In 2012, amidst the record-breaking drought, the Oklahoma Water Resources Board released an update to the state's comprehensive water plan. The 2012 update included recommendations to improve the reliability of water supplies across the state.
The Oklahoma Comprehensive Water Plan is really our guiding document. Everything we do in this agency revolves around the recommendations in that plan.
In 2014, the Bureau of Reclamation, Lugert-Altus Irrigation District, Mountain Park Master Conservancy District, and the Oklahoma Water Resources Board signed a memorandum of agreement initiating the Upper Red River Basin study. Taking over 7 years to complete at a cost of $3 million, the Upper Red River Basin study performed a comprehensive evaluation of numerous pressing water supply, infrastructure, and operational challenges facing Lugert-Altus and Tom Steed reservoirs. Study partners spent almost 3 years developing models to evaluate the impacts of groundwater pumping and stream diversions on the supply of Reclamation's reservoirs. With the new models in hand, study partners evaluated the impacts of future development on the supply of Lugert-Altus and Tom Steed reservoirs. Among the many strategies evaluated using the models was a framework to manage surface water permits during future drought periods. The goal was to improve the predictability and reliability of water supplies for all users in the basin.
If there's water being taken out before it gets to the reservoir, these upstream permits, it's basically that straw in the bucket. Look, we've got to know every straw that's in the bucket.
So under state law, we follow the prior appropriation doctrine, which simply states an older or more senior water right, they're first in line. So when we have a system that's stressed under drought, when we have a water scarcity, those senior or older water rights have priority over the water in that stream system.
We have to be able to protect the senior water right that Tom Steed Reservoir holds.
One of the things we struggle with here at the Water Board is what is interference. That's not defined in our water law. The Upper Red River Basin study is trying to help us determine that.
So we were able to look at regional indicators, including Palmer Drought Severity Index, local indicators such as reservoir inflow, reservoir lake levels, and then we were able to use various statistical methods to identify the actual thresholds when met would actually detect the onset of a drought.
One of the things that we had not had in the past was an ability to protect reservoir yield when we get into these major drought conditions.
When we come in times of drought, that's when those interference calls can be made for those junior water rights to curtail or to cease using water.
But the study has pointed at what I want to call triggers that will allow us to predict when we're going into droughts.
The Upper Red River Basin study was completed in July 2023. In 2015, record rainfall filled the reservoirs and the drought ended as quickly as it began.
One of my proudest moments looking back, even in my career, is this project. Knowing that my role at the Water Board is helping guide water policy for the future benefit of our citizens. It's unbelievable.
To accomplish something that's bigger than each one of us, something that's going to live beyond each one of us, and to be a part of that, I think is something very special.
This is legacy work. This study has addressed a problem, I believe, and has gave us tools to be able to tackle that problem.
I mean, at the end of the day, we're all in this together, right? Everyone, we all share the same resource, whether it be groundwater, surface water, and Oklahomans find a way.
And I would encourage people who are in the same position that I've tried to describe to use this as a model to move forward, to develop the science, unbiased science, and then look at that and use that so that all users are able to benefit, so that all economies that are driven by water can continue to have an equitable share of that, so that we can continue to grow across the West, because growing across the West starts with water.